Thanks to some late night heroics from former Cub Nicholas Castellanos, the Braves lost again, meaning the Cubs start today just 3 games back of the Atlanta Braves for the final wild card position in the National League. Happy Labor Day. The Cubs have some meaningful September baseball on deck. We're going to talk about that and more on this edition of the Cubs Baseball channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Get in that comment section. Let us know if you think this team has a shot to pull off the comeback and squeak into the playoffs. But for now, here's your invitation to our show. What's up, everybody? How's it going? My name is Anthony Pasquale. Welcome to the Cubs Baseball channel. You can find me on Twitter at ant_Pasquale3. You can also find the Cubs Baseball channel on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok. So make sure to follow along with us on there. But guys, the Braves lost last night. The Cubs have won 5 in a row, meaning the Cubs are just 3 games back in the National League wildcard race. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But man, this Cubs offense is on fire as of late. The Cubs have scored 14 or more runs in 4 of their last 8 games, and they've scored 10 or more 5 times out of the last 10. They are just on fire right now. Clicking on all cylinders. Paredes is hot. Swanson's hot. Crow-Armstrong is hot. Both catchers are on fire. Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, top to bottom, this lineup is clicking, and it's been meaning for a lot of good baseball for the Cubs. They finished August 19-8. They're now 5 games over 500 thanks to a 6-game winning streak. They're 32-18 in their last 50. They've won 8 out of their last 9 series. They're on fire. And the good news is they still have the easiest schedule in the National League remaining. But let's talk about it. The Cubs right now are in second place in the NL Central, still 9 back of the Milwaukee Brewers. But look at that number right there on the bottom of your screen. Just 3 games back of the Braves in the National League wild card race. Now, the Braves are off tonight, and the Cubs play the Pirates. Also, the Mets are in between the Cubs and the Braves. They are a game back of the Braves. So the Cubs not only need to catch the Braves, they also need to leap ahead of the Mets as well. But 3 games back with over 25 games to go. There's a lot of ground that could be made up in those 25 games. And I think it's fair to say this window is wide open for the Cubs to have a chance and squeak into the playoffs. Obviously, they're on a hot streak. They're going to need to keep it going. They're also going to need the Braves to lose here and there. But the fact of the matter is the Cubs are here on September 2nd, Labor Day, with a fighter's chance to make the 2024 playoffs. Now, according to the odds, it's still not great. But, hey, that number is a lot higher than it was earlier this week. The Cubs now have a 7.2% chance to make the playoffs this season. Still just a 0.5% chance to win the division, but I feel like right now all sights are set on that 3rd wild card spot. Now, the Cubs will not play a team above 500 until September 6th. Yeah, that's coming up a little bit. It wasn't for a while. The Cubs had 18 straight games against teams with a worse record. To be fair, they've done an excellent job against them. I believe 12-3 is their record through the first 15, and now they've got 3 more against the Pirates to round out this set of 18 before they play the Yankees and the Dodgers, and then they get another light load with the Rockies, the A's, and the Nationals once more. But tonight, the Cubs take on the Pittsburgh Pirates at 6:40 at Wrigley Field. It's going to be Jameson, Taillon on the bump for Chicago. 9-8 on the season with a 3.85 ERA. Up against Jared Jones, who just came off the injured list for his last start, also against the Cubs. He's 5-7 on the season with a 3.88 ERA. Both guys are struggling a little bit as of late. Of course, Jones just off the injury. Taillon has been up and down since the trade deadline rumors swirled. But we've got a pretty good pitching matchup on deck tonight. Get your popcorn ready for tomorrow night. Justin Steele against Paul Skeens 2.0. It's going to be really exciting to watch these guys. And then hopefully as the Cubs go for their 3rd straight sweep, 2nd in a row against the Pirates, it'll be Imanaga with a starter not yet to be named. But tonight it's Taillon. Cubs have obviously won 6 in a row. 3 of those have been against these Pirates. They scored 43 runs in 3 games against the Pirates last week. They're going to look for more of the same tonight at Wrigley Field. Guys, if you're able, go get to the game, get loud, make sure Wrigley is rocking But happy Labor Day from us here at the Cubs Baseball Channel. We appreciate you guys always listening and checking in, getting in the comment section, liking and subscribing, following on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram. It's going to take all of us to try to get this team into the playoffs. I know we obviously don't have as much of an input as we would like, but I do like to think that a packed Wrigley Field certainly matters, and so does all the chatter that we get in our comment section. We appreciate all of you guys, and as the Cubs try to make this push to the playoffs and try to catch these Braves, the biggest thing to do is just to keep talking about them and hoping that this team has what it takes. Now, I do think with their offense being as hot as it is right now, this is the perfect time to continue to go on a run. Offenses are always streaky, especially with a team like the Cubs with so many individual players who have peaks and valleys. Ian Happ, Dansby Swanson, just to name a few. When you have the whole team clicking at once, it just makes the rest of the lineup contagious, like one after another after another. Even if one guy's having a bad game, it doesn't feel like it because the Cubs have been so good at taking advantage of big innings. They've had a lot of innings with 3 or 4 runs. You look at any of the stats, the stretch that the Cubs are on in the last 9 or 10 games offensively mimics stretches from over 100 years ago. I think I saw one, the Boston Beaneaters were the only team with more runs in that span of games than the Cubs had. The point is the Cubs offense is on fire right now. And here's to hoping they can keep it going against Pittsburgh at Wrigley Field. But guys, thanks so much for joining us. I hope you have a happy Labor Day. Hopefully it's a day off for you and you get to enjoy some Cubs baseball tonight at Wrigley Field. But for now, go Cubbies.